Good night, my name is Felipe. Welcome to my channel, Tours in Brazil. I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget, start the notifications, leave a like and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Be pleased to leave a commentary. Make your question. Let us start. In the 1920s, most airplanes started operation by carrying mail, and air mail subsidies paid by governments were used to stimulate the development of airline companies. Planes of this era were leftovers from the WW1 of wood, wire, and fabric construction. Figure 7.1 is a 1919 photo showing an early movement of air cargo. Airline aircraft were twin-engine and similar to some World War I bombers. The pattern of adhering closely in all civil aircraft designed to lines of development already paid for by military expenditure was established as legal scholars were calling for the concept of freedom of the air to follow the idea of freedom of the sea. However, World War I had shown the military potential of aircraft and that the risks of free skies were greater than those of free seas. In 1999, six European airlines formed what is now the International Air Transport Association (IATA) for the purpose of developing standardized airline tickets and interline reservations. By 1929, 22 airlines had joined. Airlines developed in all major Western European countries. In the United States, airline development was initially slower than Europe. In the United States, air mail carriage was more important than passengers. Carrying mail did give pilots experience with schedules and night flying. By 1930, distinctive civilian aircraft such as the Ford Trimotors were developed. Three-engine aircraft became the airline standard for the early 1930s. Radio communication with the ground was used, although airline aircraft flew VFR, visual flight rules, meaning that pilots can see ground. By 1930, US airlines carry as many passengers as the rest of the world together. This pattern would hold until after World War II. Little mention is found of air freight in this early period. Much of movement probably went as air mail. There was great interest in competition between nations in using air transport to reduce air mail time across the oceans. Some swift ocean liners would carry a small plane loaded with mail and launch the plane using catapults, while the ship was still a few hundred miles from its destination. This would cut a day off of the mail's time. Lufthansa used seaplanes and had permanently placed tender ships stationed across the North Atlantic. Seaplanes would land, take on fuel and fresh crews, and be catapulted into the air in order to continue across the ocean. One could see that air transport was capable of shrinking the globe. Air mail was also important to international airlines, because payments for carrying air mail were the vehicle through which they were subsidized. Inaugural flights of seaplane service across the Pacific were completely loaded with mail with special first-day cancellations provided by the post office. This was a time when stamp collection was popular, with two of the world's best-known stamp collectors being President Franklin Roosevelt and King George VI. In the early 1930s, Pan Am extended its routes into Latin America. Western Europe Airlines extended into Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Government-subsidized airlines were formed in Australia. In Canada, bus pilots were important in opening up in development territories. The Japanese started their airline, and KLM reached the Dutch East Indies. Only in China did there seem to be no airline development. A major technological advance came in the United States, where both Lockheed A Norse troop introduced clean monoplanes with higher wing loads made possible by more powerful radio engines. This evolved into the Boeing 247, which appeared in 1933, and the Douglas DC-2 appeared in 1934. The DC-2 soon evolved into DC-3, which became the cornerstone of modern airline development. During the 1930s in the United States, which was not preparing for war, passengers went for civil aviation, and this gave the United States an edge that owes to the present time. The decade belonged to civil aviation in the United States. Big domestic lines were Eastern, United, TWA, and Pan American. Pan Am was the overseas carrier, the chosen instrument, which expanded to Latin America, then crossed the Pacific and Atlantic. As the chosen instrument, Pan Am received generous airmail service and help from our State Department in dealing with foreign governments. The negotiation of the land rights was left to individual carriers and foreign governments. One trip, Pan Am's president had taken advantage of the situation by negotiating exclusive traffic rights from the foreign nations. The United States did not oppose Pan Am's initiatives to negotiate traffic rights on its own, since it relieved the government of an obligation to grant reciprocal rights. In dealing with foreign nations, Tripp tried to tie everything in his deal. Sometimes he would buy foreign carriers who had rights to the United States. Very small nations would become Pan Am because they lacked resources for a comfortable airline of their own. Large nations were more difficult. The United States Kingdom would not give up anything without reciprocal rights. Tripp was blocked for 2 years for being able to cross through Europe because of it. The United Kingdom would not give full rights by either Bermuda or Newfoundland unless they received comparable rights which only the US government and no Tripp could provide. Well, later we're going to continue. I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe in the channel, start the notifications, leave a like, share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.